Hello, everyone. Revenue Hacks here. Hi.
Good
Very
morning.
nice to see you.
morning.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Morning.
wherever you watching us from. Welcome to the new episode, another episode. We're talking today about increasing the hotel product without great expenditure. And before we start to talk about our topic, we have exciting news. If you haven't seen or heard, yes, we are number 3 podcast worldwide in hospitality. So thank you very much, everyone who watched us, everyone who participated, amazing audience, amazing people who part of this. Thank you so much. And everyone who voted, of course. Well done. We're probably going to start with introduction, just go around just to introduce ourselves. So I'll start with myself. My name is Anna Sirba. I am operations manager at Harbour Hotel in Devon. Shall we go maybe this way around then, maybe? Larry.
Hi, good morning. My name is Larry Leung, and I'm a Principal and Chief Experience Officer for Transformidy.
Lovely.
Good morning from Charleston. I'm Adele Gutman. I am the host of the brand new show called Get Great Guest Reviews, the podcast. And my 2021 show was on the top 30 podcast as well. So welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I think I'm next. So my name is Theo Catala. Yep. I'm the founder and managing director of Catala Consulting. We do revenue management for hotels across Europe. And congrats to the team, congrats to everyone, and thank you so much for your support for the last few months, few years.
All right, and Calvin Taloki, you guys may know me as Ref Problems on Instagram. I'm a social media content creator, consultant for hotels and social media, as well as a certified hospitality leadership coach by the International Hospitality Institute. I'll brag a little bit to my podcast. The Growth Spot podcast was ranked number 9 on the same list. So I kind of feel like Kobe Bryant when he had, the NBA trophy and the MVP at the same time, just on all the great teams. What could I say? But very, very proud of that. And obviously very proud for the team here on Revenue Hacks and excited to get into today's topic. I think it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, well done, Calvin. Congratulations too. Excited about this topic. So we briefly discussed it, obviously, pre-show, and it's so many great ideas and loads to talk about, obviously. So one of the biggest ones that came was about satisfaction and guest experience. So Adele, specializing in that one, would you like to start? And then
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, you know what? We are in the hotel industry, and actually in many industries, we can be so penny wise and pound foolish in a way. You know what? Imagine if every single guest that came into your hotel was absolutely loving it, sharing it on social media, leaving the hotel, talking about their experiences with all their friends, and definitely not only are they coming back, but they're going to stay longer. They're going to pay for an upgraded experience, and they're going to bring all their friends. Now, why are we not focusing on the KPI of the guest experience, the guest satisfaction, as though right next to ADR? When you're looking at your P&L, you should be looking at what's, am I getting better every single day on the guest experience? Because if you're not, you have a revolving door where guests come in. Some of them say, it's okay. It's what I thought it was going to be, but no more. Or the ones that felt such a connection to your team and their smiling faces and their helpful recommendations that they can't help themselves but share it with all their friends. That is the wisest thing you can do. That's for a start of the conversation.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And there are so many systems, so many programs that you can measure. You can you can do so many things, starting from, I don't know, guest reviews to mouth-to-mouth talking to people and making sure that you get the feedback. Yeah, absolutely crucial, very important, and that's one of the I would say most important KPIs that you should put on your hotel. What is your guest satisfaction? What are your reviews? What people say about you? Are they happy?
Yes.
Will they come back? How many people they recommend you to? Yes, that doesn't cost that much. Obviously, yes, there is some expense to it, but that's one of the things that will pay you back.
It's
There's
it's
something.
the expense is nothing compared to the return.
Yeah.
We are spending a fortune on acquiring new guests, and then we're not keeping them, not all of them, and we're not turning them in to an extension of your sales and marketing team by making them really loyal fans.
But that's something which it's a big focus. You are right on reviews, on online reputation and everything. But many hotels don't even reply to reviews. I think that should be like it's quite inexpensive to just reply, I think, acknowledging it was a positive review, or if it was a negative review, acknowledging it as well. To reply to every single reviews online, that's very, very important. Communicate directly with the guest. That's also quite inexpensive. Be it with directly post-stay, during the stay, and after the stay. If you increase communication, you will be able to resolve issue beforehand and then review issues afterwards. But with this focus of guest satisfaction would be very important. So again, I fully agree with you. Focusing on guest satisfaction, putting your KPI on your review, your rankings, and your reputation, I think should be the main priority when you look at increasing the value of your product without spending much more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
customer
and
reviews do not necessarily have to be feedback. Or, specifically, it could be social media posting, and it could also be other touch points with employees. And I think it's actually very important that as when we move into a digital experience where you can bypass reception and just have your phone as your hotel key card, that hotels have to rethink how to obtain that feedback directly in person.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. With things like that changing, those touch points reduce in certain properties, so it may be more difficult. But I want to go back to the point of cost. I was at a resort a couple of months ago down in Mexico, and beautiful stay. But there's always one light in the room that you can't sleep. It's a flashing like fire alarm or something like that. But it was on the thermostat. There was this bright green light. So we put a Band-Aid on it or something like that, right? So we can cover up and go to sleep. The next morning, we left, go to the beach. We come back in the afternoon after housekeeping had attended to the room, and they put some black tape on it. I mean, talk about such a minute detail that they would even notice that we did that, and then take the step to say, you know what, we'll take care of this for you. And that costs nothing. That costs absolutely nothing. But it's something I don't think I'll ever forget, because it was such a genuine, hospitable moment. Something where, you know what, I understand this guest has a need, and I'm going to address it. And it's something like that. So whatever that property is doing, that attention to detail and that really putting yourself in the customer's shoes and say, how can I help make this experience better? That it never really costs anything. And coming from a revenue manager, that's what I want to hear. What I don't want to hear is, me say I complained about that for 3 days, and then I end up getting a comp night at checkout. Right. Yeah. And you got to hear that on the Paso or in stand up that next day. I'm going to lose my mind because that doesn't cost anything. Right.
You know what? The thing is that it doesn't cost anything really in expense, but it does cost one thing, which is free: a daily discipline, a devotion to constantly be talking about how to light up the guests, how to make them more comfortable, always reminding your team every pre-shift meeting, every communication with your team. How can we learn something to find, can we listen with our eyes and our ears and our senses? how to find an opportunity that's going to make somebody a little more comfortable, lift their spirits a little bit. If you're constantly talking about it at before you go into any pre-shift meeting,
Mhm.
how you're going to energize your team so that they're focused and they understand that their job is not to check people in and out. It's not to send the bill. It's not just to clean the room. It's to make beautiful experiences for people that they'll never forget and they'll always want to share.
Yes,
Spot on.
absolutely.
There
Spot
is
on. Sorry.
no, but it's true. Like something like which I've learned as well with AEG and Four Seasons, and I can see it with Accor. We know there is a sparklings or with a wow factor in a Starwood all time, where every day we're picking up someone on the arrival list, making sure they understand and they know something special about this guest, and we'll make something extra in the room to make sure we show them that we care about them and we understand those guys. So for example, like if we know that this guy is a golfer, they will put like a small putt to say like, welcome to the W Amsterdam. Please practice your golf put during your stay. Or if you know that I'm a Paris Saint-Germain fan, to put like we know that we have a Paris Saint-Germain game on the Channel 4 this time, and the scarf of Paris Saint-Germain. I don't know, but those kind of small things cost a bit. That's true. But in return, I will take a picture of it on social media. I will say, "Okay, thank you so much for the W Amsterdam, great experience." I will talk more, and I will show that, as they will show me that they care about me. It's just like one single guest that you do this kind of experience every single day. At the end of the year, you will have thousands of reviews online and an increase of guest satisfaction.
Absolutely, it's something that as a managers or we're busy on a daily basis. Sometimes we forget. We in hospitality, we have to be hospitable. That's everything that matters. So we welcome guests into hotels, and this is what is the most important thing. So do everything to make that person feeling at home, feeling happy, feeling or doing that what they plan to do in a hotel. So if they for business, it has to be business trip. Are they on leisure, celebrating? Just make sure that you know what they want and deliver it. So and it's training the team. It's the culture. It's making sure that we train the culture, we embed the culture, so that's what we're there for. This is the business that we entered.
And
Adele?
yet it's surprising how often you can walk in to check into a hotel and someone will look up at you and say, checking in? Or yes?
Sometimes.
Or,
All the
you know,
time.
it's a transaction. We have to reach the first people we have to be hospitable to, the first people who we have to lift the spirits of. It's our own team. So we have to not just be thinking about creating a happy, joyful experience for our guests, but reminding our team that they probably came to hospitality because they wanted to make people happy. And here we're going to get really good at it together. Let's exchange ideas. Let's watch let's find best practices among ourselves so that we can have fun today and see how many people we can make smile really great. And when you find there's something that you do that makes people really smile, put that down in the best practices book and let's share those ideas and let's celebrate those things so that they have the energy to do that, because you know that the last couple of years in hospitality has been a very distressing time for our team. So we have to sparkle a little sunshine on each other to give them the energy to sparkle sunshine on the guests.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's really going back to home away from home. The concept that we want guests to feel that when you come to the hotel, you're coming to a second home. And we want the guests to feel that way, but we also need the employees to feel the same way. And so hotels can do a lot just through encouragement and empowerment to give them the sense of, hey, it's great to be working at this hotel because you are making a difference and you're inspiring the guest and you're making them happy. And that's something we all want to work on.
Empowering. That I love that you said that. And giving people the freedom from fear that they can be creative about solving our guests' problems because they know that they won't get in trouble for trying to do the right thing for a guest.
Yeah, absolutely. I just remembered about my experience because I'm on a holiday now, and went to the restaurant yesterday, just dinner, nothing special, didn't plan anything special, but ended up being very special because of the lady who served me. She was amazing in terms of she knew the product, she was able to recommend, but with little touches. She was like, oh yeah, you're here on a holiday, okay. So I was there with my mom, and she was driving, and I was not. And she said, "Oh, maybe we can upgrade on your wine. Maybe we can upgrade on your dessert for this and for your mom. Oh, we have the selection of different types of water." And I was like, "Wow, different types of water. I normally just go for a tap water or something. No, let me try." And obviously, the bottle of water was like 7 or 8 euros, and it was just such an incredible experience, such personalized. And as much as the word upselling is not the best one, or I don't really like the word, but by knowing the product, you can increase expectation or experience to the level that my bill was about 20 or 30% more than I had in my head to start with, but I didn't care because it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I took so many pictures. I'll post them all on my social media. I didn't manage yet. But I will be raving about the service. And that's what we sometimes forget because we're so busy on our daily routines, and we will look at the numbers, we'll look at the KPIs and everything, but that must be the KPI, the guest satisfaction.
I mean, you also need to keep in the consideration to increase the skills of your team. And I think that should be the biggest focus of 2022. To train your team, to upskill your workforce. I don't know if it's English, but to focusing. And again, those kind of experience is exactly that the waiter, she knew about her food, she knew exactly about the recipe and about everything, and she was able to upsell, but more, as we discussed offline, to recommend you the correct dishes for your experience. And that's where you see like there is an increase of revenue because you upsold it, but there's also an increase of guest satisfaction. So I think it's very, very important. And going back to what we just mentioned, and going back to all of the discussion about the workforce and the pressure on finding good talent, maybe it's also a good opportunity to increase your the quality of your talent. So looking after quality over quantity, because we cannot find a lot of staff. So making sure you have like very, very, very good staff with very well trained staff, that will be very important for those kind of guest experience. So this kind of training and making sure you keep them up to date on the new processes and so on is super duper important for 2022.
Communication is everything, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I've just seen the comment from Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. That's an amazing comment. Sales starts at the daily 10 at 10. Absolutely. We have to share. We share information with the teams. They have to receive their info. They have to receive their data. We just need to communicate, and we need to set up targets and remind every day, 10 at 10, this is what they're for. This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. Just go and deliver the best. And everyone wants to be the best. Show me the person who doesn't want to be the best. Everyone wants to. Everyone wants to succeed. So, yeah.
That's such a simple truism, but so many people forget it. Oh, we can't impose anything more on our team. They're too exhausted. No, you're fueling their engines. You're making it easier for them when you talk about, people say, don't talk about the problems because you don't want to be negative. No, there's nothing more positive in the world than going into a meeting saying, hey, this hiccup happened yesterday that caused someone some disappointment, and our front desk people, they handled it. But let's talk about the root cause of the problem, because I know that all of you creative problem solvers who are the best in the world, we're going to find a way so that problem doesn't happen again, so that disappointment doesn't happen again, so the front desk doesn't have to take care of it. I guarantee you, I don't know what hotel in the world you're at, but somewhere in that hotel is a problem that's recurring and recurring and recurring, a disappointment, a friction point that's recurring. And if you just stop to think about that and collaborate with your team, because they know the answers. What is the root cause of that friction point and how can we solve it? You will be saving so much time and frustration for your team. It will transform their experience as well as the guest experience.
Yeah, I can give a quick example on that last point you just made. It's such a simple thing. And going back to this thing about communication, I had an opposite experience at a resort for my birthday. And this was a property I was spending a 4-figure rate, per night. So I went all out. Okay. I ain't getting any younger. So you got to celebrate your birthdays big. Okay. So we went to this nice luxury resort. It's right on the beach. And they created this great ambiance and experience in the lobby. You can look right out onto the beach. You see the pool. They've got live music. I'm sitting there having a cocktail at 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, this is awesome. So we just want to get something to eat. And on the menu, the last page has food items. When I say food items, I'm talking about like a charcuterie board, nothing that needs to be cooked, right? I go to order the food. The waiter looks at me, says, kitchen doesn't open until 5, and he just walks away. I'm like, wait, okay, hold on a second, guy. Hold on, let's come back here. Let's give him another try. Asked again. I said, hey, what about the other outlets, et cetera, et cetera? No, this outlet is closed, and he's just like completely brushing me off. So long story short, I go to the lobby person, and I started coming up with the alternatives. This should have been the key that this guy works in a hotel. There's no way this guy would know this. I'm like, what if I get room service to deliver it here? What if I go get carry out or something like this? And I'm coming up with all of the alternatives, which should have been the huge red flag. And they said, well, you can't have outside food in the lobby bar. So I said, let me clarify this 1 second. You're telling me your food at a different restaurant on your property is considered outside food. So like I said, in that menu, there's no notification that the kitchen doesn't open till 5. They don't put it there. But if you go on the website, it's there. So talking about closing that communication loop. So whoever's in charge of the website, in my experience, it was myself in revenue, or you're working with your, an e-commerce or digital marketing team that handles your website. So whoever took care of that part, clearly this was communicated at some point in the property. The kitchen's not going to open until 5. But a simple thing like printing that on the menu didn't happen. And you know what? They put those same menus out the next day. And that's only going to create an issue. And the worst part of this experience is I decided to leave early. I checked out a day early. I said, I'm going somewhere else. At checkout, the guy looks at me and he says, oh, I see you're not supposed to be checking out till tomorrow. And I said, that's correct. So you're leaving us early? Yeah, that's correct. No follow-up, no questions about what happened. Is there anything we can do? Is something wrong with the experience? How come you're leaving early? And that probably means that they get these kind of complaints all the time. Like, I just didn't want to deal with it. Like, just get out of my face. But the revenue manager in me was like, you're really letting $1,000 walk out the door without a question? So just simple things like that. A simple thing as printing that your hours on the menu would have solved that entire problem.
It reminds me so much, your story reminds me so much of a book called Shut Up and Listen by Tillman Furtada, I think. I can't remember. Fertilla, I can't remember exactly.
You must be hungry because frittata sounds good right about it.
But it's called Shut Up and Listen. And he talks about that consistently, make sure whatever the guest wants, that if you're laser focused on making sure that guest is happy, you're not going to let some stupid rules or policies or anything that that don't make any sense to impede your ability. And the minute your staff member recognize that somebody's asking that they wanted food, no, we don't have anything till 5 o'clock. Say, I want to let you know, I'm turning away business every day. because we're not ready. We're not ready before 5. We have to find a solution to get something to somebody. And one of the things he talks about in the book is, somebody comes in and it's a steakhouse and they said, "Can you just get me an omelet?" They have eggs.
Right.
Make that omelet. I don't care if it's on the menu. That guest wants it. Charge him like it was a steak if you want to, but don't say you don't have it or you can't do it. You are forgetting what you're here for. And that's, making guests happy and making money at the same time.
I'm just going to jump another one in real quick because you reminded me of another really funny story from this is a couple of years ago at a high-end Asian restaurant in New York City. And my wife ordered an iced tea. And the guy goes, "Sorry, we don't have any iced tea." I'm like, "You have tea on the menu. It's an Asian restaurant. You have tea. I see it. You have tea. You have ice." And I did like that. I literally did like this. I'm like, and he didn't get it. He couldn't understand that, hey, to solve this problem, all I need to do is ring up tea, get a cup of ice, and put tea in it. I would have needed to explain that to him. So it's really fun. And yes, Abe, I did leave a TripAdvisor review. You can go check it out.
And, speaking of books also, every hotel should have a library of borrowable books for people to read that are about the hospitality mindset. Why not? There are some great books here. Our friend Sarah came up with a new book, Hospitality from Within. I'll give her a little plug. Christine Trippi's Yes is the Answer. There are just so many. Lead from the Heart. So many wonderful books that are out there that will inspire your team. What a small investment to put a library together for them.
I feel as well that what you mentioned, Calvin, is also that the staff is also very scared to take initiatives or to be proactive about that kind of thing. They just say like, my job is to check in, check out, but not to deal with doing an omelette or whatever. So that's my job description. I will not go a bit further. So how do you empower them, or do you make the job fun for them? Because as well, if you look for experience or a way to improve the guest satisfaction, you will make fun for the employee and for the guests as well. So I think it's very important. And again, you show me yours, I show you mine. One book which I really like about this kind of empowerment was Turn the Ship Around from David Marquet, the guy which was a Navy captain on the submarine. And everyone was like, the captain will tell you to go right, so I go right. Even if there's a wall in it, that's the captain, so I follow the order. And this guy from one day to another is like, no, I'm the captain, that's fine, but do what is the right things to do. And don't wait for my order to do the right things. I trust you that you are going to do the right things. And this mindset, I think, is super duper important as well in the hospitality industry, to trust your employees to do the right things. Because at the end of the day, they are capable to do the right things. It's just like they are scared at the moment to do it because there's too many hierarchy, there's too much disciplinary stuff and so on. But trust them that they are going to do the right things.
Once in a while, they may not do the right thing, but it's okay, because in the big picture, for 100 things done, maybe one was slightly off the mark, and you just say, oh, well, you know what? I think that, maybe you went a little bit too far. Maybe this would have been another way of handling it. Or maybe your good intentions didn't shine through the way you meant them to. But, I appreciate your good intentions, and let's just try a different way of doing it next time. No fear, no blaming. Blame is so not useful. But working together to figure out ways to solve problems is so very useful and should be celebrated, even when we make a mistake. We've learned something. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
And training has to do beyond what they typically have in their job description. I love what Anna talked about earlier with the water example, because taking pictures is a fundamental feature of staying at a hotel. We just take a lot of pictures. So in Asia, many hotels actually train the wait staff to help people take pictures. They want the best. You want the best angle. This is how we do it. We we decided on this particular brand of water because the logo is exciting. We want you to take a picture of it and showcase not just the hotel, us, and the water, because we got it for you. And so give all those opportunities for the employees to celebrate, and then for the guests to celebrate you becomes more important. And I think sometimes hotels don't give those types of opportunities and training for the team members.
No,
I can
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I
Waiters
agree.
are professional photographers. For sure, the best pictures in the world are taken by servers, don't you think?
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. Yes, they taken by staff, because staff knows the best light, they know the best places in a hotel, they know what they want to showcase, and we need to celebrate it. We need to celebrate success. And who else apart from like staff will know we've done this great. Let's show it. Let's go onto our social media and show the life experience, because what can be, I don't know, it's very sad when I see hotel profiles, and I use social media basically for almost all of my decisions when I go restaurant, hotel, everywhere. And it's so sad when you can clearly see the pictures that taken by professional photographer, no one involved. You can't see the life in them. You know they're taken specifically for that page. And you don't know. Like, I want to see a picture of guests who's happy, and then who enjoy themselves, and then hotel shares that. So what do you think, guys? Because social media is like
That,
nothing.
that's what your social media should be about. I mean, I always say people expect people expect that website to look exactly like you're describing, Anna. We know that it's a Photoshop stage professional photos of your rooms and your public space. We know that. Every guest knows that, right? The reason things like TripAdvisor play such a huge part in that guest journey and that decision making process is because they're looking for authentic. That whole thing started out because they can see traveler photos. They can see what that room really looks like, what that lobby really looks like, how bad that omelet really is at the breakfast bar, right? Like, that's what people are looking for. Now, you as a hotel, you have a free channel with an Instagram, a Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it is you want to start. You have a free opportunity to do that exact same thing, but present it from your perspective, right? So there's nothing stopping you from giving a nice walkthrough of your lobby, showing, who was your superstar of the month, so your best GSA of the month, who got mentioned in the most TripAdvisor reviews. Put a picture of them, put a nice little profile of them, because now when that guest sees the person on Instagram, they may be checked in by that person, and they may see them during the stay. It's, hey, you've already created a connection from doing nothing that costs you absolutely nothing to do, right? So your Instagram, your social should be all about being authentic, and it should look nothing like your website.
Yeah.
You know what? It is such a great investment for social media to create a social media focal point photo opportunity that everybody will want to get somebody to take a picture of them with that background behind them. It can be a mural. You know how that trend with the wings, I mean, it has been priceless at so many things, but it could be any kind of mural, beautiful neon signs that's rosé all day or whatever it is. But you know what we did when we opened the Aria Hotel in Budapest and at Hotel X Toronto, on the rooftop, we had such a wonderful view of the city that we etched Hotel X Toronto, or in Budapest, we had a big thing that said etched in Aria Hotel Budapest, so that every day 100 people were going to that spot to take their picture, and they had that. And you would see in that picture, even if you weren't tagged, you'd know what hotel that was.
But it's the same when I was in Asia. There was always a saying like a camera eats first, meaning like every time you have lunch or dinner, you take a picture and then you eat. Okay, so you as an hotelier, think about how it looks like and how it will be presented in a picture, and I think it's very small, but make it a bit fluffy or with something a bit special, because you know that camera eats first. I don't know if it's only in Asia or in Europe it's coming as well, but I was impressed that every time a dish was served, boom, camera. So it was like, so think about those kind of new trends, and that small touch can make a big difference online.
For sure.
Yeah.
And even if you have a brand chain hotel, you can still look around that lobby or look around that bar. You can find something on the exterior that is just an enchanting opportunity for a beautiful picture, and just make it happen, because it's so worth it. It will reap you so many rewards.
And the thing
And
is, every
just have to
property can do it. Sorry, Larry.
Larry.
Real quick.
I just have
Every
to one
property can do
sorry.
this because we have. Sorry, there's a delay. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say, real quick. Even if you don't have one of these pretty hotels, if you just have your regular, airport hotel, that's a brand. We all have people at the property, right? And that's your currency. If you have a property like that, feature the people. Every hotel has one or two rock stars that are just crushing it every day. You have these stories of people that have worked through the pandemic and been there, right? Stuck by. Feature those people. That's what this is all about. That's why they're booking the hotel. Okay, you may just be there for a layover or you're there for some conference, but you know what? Those hotels have to get business somehow. And the reason what we're all talking about here, the reason you retain this business and get repeat business is all about the service. So feature the people. You may not have a pretty lobby to feature. Maybe just make a play on that. Maybe just say, hey, look, this is have somebody pose in front of the regular breakfast bar that you see at every other Hampton Inn. Hey, this isn't going to be any different, but you know what? What will be different is the service you get. Make a joke on it or something like that.
In fact, what people fall in love with at a property or any business is the people first. Southwest Airlines, as somebody said to me, it's funny that Southwest Airlines is one of the most beloved airlines, even though it's a budget or value airline. It's not the most luxurious airline in the world, but people love it. And it's because of the people and the experience that they're having.
And going back to showcasing the hotel, I have not seen many hotel websites tell me what the daily special is at the restaurant or a specialty drink that they created just for the guests. I wish I would know, because when I check in, I may be using their app. Maybe I'm going to the website just to see what's happening. I want to be inspired. I actually want that drink, but if you don't tell me about the drink and how amazing your bar is, then chances are you're not coming in my mind first when I check in. And
Well,
that is more the case if it's digital again. And I went to a couple of conferences, one using the conference rate from the hotel, and it's attached directly, the conference is attached to the hotel, and it's a travel conference. And so they know where are the travel influencers, where are decision makers, and yet the hotel did not reach out to sell itself, to tell us what's happening at the hotel, something we can take home with, or maybe even use because it's a travel conference. And they even supply the food, and yet didn't really talk to us about the food. And so I went back to the GM and I said, you missed an opportunity to talk to a bunch of people who can actually amplify your brand. Maybe next time we go back to your city, we would pick your hotel because we already stayed there. But if you don't give yourself that opportunity, then chances are we wouldn't be able to help you and help us in the same way.
Pre-stay emails also are just such an important way of solving a world of problems at the hotel. If the guests are really fully prepared for having the best experience that they can at your property, if they know exactly what to expect, they won't be any unpleasant surprises, and they might find or discover that wonderful drink or that great experience that wasn't fully communicated perhaps on the website, but now is a great time. Pre-stay email.
Absolutely, Adele. I would say pre-stay communication. It doesn't really mean it has to be email. It can be phone call. It can be message. It has to be communicated to the guest. Like, we're expecting you. We're waiting for you. We're so excited. Tell us about you. And so we will make your stay unforgettable. Absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone. So many comments. Brilliant. Thank you, audience. And I think it's a time for some time for count.
Hey, Calvin Toloki here with your G-Spot Minute. And this week, we're talking about your entourage. Now, I'm not talking about that pretty good HBO show that ended up being really crappy at the end. I'm talking about the people you spend your time with. We've all heard the phrase, show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are. Now, I don't quite take it as quite that cut and dry, but the people you spend your time with will have an impact on you. So make sure that you're choosing them wisely, which is really why I enjoy doing this show. I get to share the screen with some really intelligent people in this industry, and we share different viewpoints. Your entourage doesn't have to have the same opinions as you, but they do need to be intelligent and challenge you to think differently. That guy's pretty smart.
Thank you. That was amazing. Yes, so I agree. I didn't think about that, but yes, spend time with best people and get the ideas. And don't always agree. Don't always agree, but share your opinion. Yeah.
Can we join your entourage? That's the most important thing. Can we join your entourage, Calvin?
You're in it. You're in it, man.
You're already part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, Calvin. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone who tuned in, joined, and you can always rewatch. So on YouTube, LinkedIn, watch us again, send us your questions, comment, and see you next week. Thank you very much, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
My world will never ever leave you and I don't see what all the fuss is about. I didn't know I had to watch my time. Now you know that I'm alone with God. Yeah, you know it's true. I'm too taboo.